What if the solution isn't to fight the patriarchal system, but to build a new one? One that's rooted in rhythm, rest, and real feminine power. Welcome to another empowering episode of the FemmeFortea Spotlight. I'm your host, AgnesB, your no-fluff business consultant dedicated to feminine leadership and sustainable, really soul-aligned success. Today's guest is a true multi-dimensional woman, a healer, somatic practitioner, a mystic, artist, and author, the incredible Monica Canducci. We dive deep into what it really means to honor the sacred feminine, embrace your cyclical living, and listen to the wisdom of the body in a world designed for linearity. From menopause to mediumship, sacred movement to spiritual science, this conversation is rich with truth, tools, and of course, transformation. Whether you're navigating a life transition, awakening your feminine power, or simply craving a new model for your business, health, or healing, this episode will awaken something ancient within you. Let's begin. Please welcome with me, Monica Canducci. Hey, guys, how are you doing today? I hope everyone is well. I have another amazing topic for today. We started these conversations about feminine wealth building and stepping into our feminine. And I 100,000% sure that Monica is our perfect person to talk about this because she released the Sacred Body. Sacred Body book. When was that? Was it one of your first books?
This is one of them. I don't know how many books I wrote. Many books in between Italian and English. This is the second edition, so it's only I published it only a few months ago with some updates.
Love it.
The first edition was in 2021 or 20. Don't remember because so many books.
Many books, so many amazing topics. Why I was called to go this direction and why I wanted to talk about this topic is we know already, and that's something that you touched in the book as well, we know already that the patriarchal society, how it is, does not work. And when I was reading your book, it was like, oh my God, yes, there is the answer. Oh my God, someone's already working on it. And that's why I felt really passionate about our conversation. So hello and welcome. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much for hosting me. This is a pleasure. Among the many things, I'm also a performer. So I'm always happy to talk and dance occasionally, but talk, especially about these topics, because I believe this is really an important, it's like a turning point that we need to be aware of the way we can change things. And about the patriarchal model, if we decide to fight it, and the more we fall into the patriarchal way, this doesn't work, especially for us, because the feminine is wholeness. And sometimes we distinguish, it's good to differentiate between masculine and feminine energy, but we have to remember that women are the mirror of nature. Because our hormonal cycle, I'm 60, so I can talk about everything. Menopause, perimenopause, maternity, or the choice of not being a mother, or if it happens, or yes. So I know very well also what comes after menopause. So wholeness is like nature. It's not only our hormonal cycle that reflects the moon cycle. That's important, but also our stages of life reflect the moon cycle and the seasons. Oh. And we see that nature is whole. So we have in our life and the monthly cycle, when we are fertile, we touch the feminine and the masculine elements, the four elements. fire, the crescent moon, the new moon, water, the full moon, and then air with the waning moon, and that's also perimenopause. And earth, that is the part of our cycle and opens to an eternal spring. Speaking of the patriarchal model, when we fall into fighting, and so this is the patriarchal way, our nervous system, and this is not only for women, especially for women, but for every human being, not just human, because it works also for animals, our nervous system is built this way, is wired this way. We need to feel safe to allow a change. To feel safe means that it's not only to feel safe, but also to feel that there is something functional supporting us. So we cannot fight a dysfunctional habit or model or pattern if first we didn't build something more functional. This is for our life choices too, or when we want to change a habit, a pattern, this is always valid. Before to leave something that doesn't work, we need to build an alternative that works better. When it's done, then we feel safe enough and we allow the change to happen. And this is what we need to do. We need to create something that works. And this is why I resonate also with your work. And this is why I like this meeting, because this is what you are doing, if I understood right. We have to respect all the aspects of our being. We can be a warrior, we can be a healer, we can be whatever we want, because I like to tell stories. And I think I put in this book, The Secret Body, a story about what women really want and what we need. It's not just what we want, what we need. And so this is the best way: connect to each other, create connections, and allow the creation of a new model that is more functional. And it's not about fighting what is already set, the patriarchal model. It's about creating an alternative. And then everybody else will feel that the alternative works better. Then they will jump.
It resonates with me in so many different levels, because I think we are not just talking about, love your mug, by the way.
Oh yeah, that I painted myself. It's the moon. It's the moon and something that it's one or two faces.
I love it. You're such an artist. I love that. So going back to the topic, when I think about the whole society, this can be implemented, right? If we think about relationships, this can be implemented. If we think about the whole concept of we need to create something new, we know that the banking system doesn't work, the financial system doesn't work, corporate companies don't really work, human resources doesn't work, school system doesn't work because they removed the feminine. Medicine doesn't work, business doesn't work. And now we are creating something. I'm not hating on men, and this is not about that. We love men, right? We couldn't live without them. We love them. But they need to integrate our magic, and we need to integrate their magic into our world to have the balance. And I feel like that we went from the patriarchal society into the other end. We are hating on them, we are fighting them, we are trying to do something against it, but it's not gonna
can't work, because it's like taking, it's playing their model, and it doesn't work. And I agree with you. Nothing works because our society is not designed according to nature cycles. So our society wants us to be linear. So men have much simpler hormonal settings, and we are complex. Our model is not even circular. Yes, it's circular, but it's like a spiral because there is a movement. Our society is not designed for our nervous system in general terms because technology made everything so speedy.
Yeah.
But our nervous system would take 100,000 years to adapt. And it doesn't work like this. So we need to respect our nature. The problem is when we have symptoms related to hormones, hormonal imbalance, it's because we are not allowing our nervous system to work properly. And of course, I'm also a heart math practitioner, so I know I work with a lot of techniques to help people self-regulate and rebalance the activity of the nervous system and transform depleting emotions into regenerative emotions. But it's not the point because we keep doing this for our health. But it's like saying, okay, I have to run to make myself fit in this model. And that's not what we should do. We should learn to play with our waves and respect and make them jewels, because they are jewels. They are challenging. But if we treat our symptoms as a medical problem, that we miss the point. Symptoms are messages. So it means that something is not appropriate for us. I think every woman who start their own business, somehow they know that they need to adapt the model to themselves. And this is already a big step forward. But for those who work in the system, this is more challenging because we don't live in a system, in a society that allows us to be ourselves with our waves. This is our richness. So if we want to be acknowledged and recognized with our jewels and precious waves by man, we need to leave those waves first. And of course, this will help us to have a dialogue with man.
I love that. I love that. And the only thing we can change is ourselves, isn't it? And how we see the world and how we make it work for ourselves. So when it comes to your work, where do you start? Who are those who really feel called to you? What are the quote unquote symptoms when people say, oh my God, I need Monica in my life?
They call me, I don't know how in Italian, because I'm in Canada, so I still work with my Italian people, and then I work in English and Italian. So in Italy, they call me l'ultima spiaggia. It's like the last, in Italy, we say the last beach. It's like the last resort, because sometimes they tried everything and then nothing worked really. And so they find me finally, and everything works. But because I'm an expert of integration too, and that means that I believe that everything can work when we integrate the different aspects and we cover everything. So my specialty is to help people connecting the dots. I work in many ways. I really integrate science because I have a scientific background and also a spiritual background, not only an artistic background, but also a spiritual background. I worked for many years with the healers and shamans and spiritual teachers from different traditions, lineage. So I'm speaking of things coming from ancient cultures and traditions. And what I learned is that, okay, I use my intuition. I'm a channel. I'm a medium since I was 17. So it's a long time. And I learned how to distinguish everything. So I rely partially on my intuition and on my skills as an astrologer also, because astrology is very important to understand some things. But then my work is based on neuroscience, basically, and neurophysiology, psychophysiology, neurophysiology. So I help people recognize the message their symptoms want to transmit when we speak about healing. Otherwise, I help women to discover their inner treasures. I help women in life transitions, but also women who want to know more about themselves and who want to understand how they can navigate those waves, especially at the end of the 30s, can start some roller coaster with hormones and everything. And this can be so precious because usually it's like a boost in creativity, but sometimes it's not understood. So I work a lot with movement. My work is based on somatics. So it's not just about using hypnosis or relaxation or visualization or with affirmation. We need to embody these energies. So I studied and I dig a lot. And then finally, I extract like an alchemist. I found movement, what I call movement activations for every element of nature, for every moon phase. And then I put everything in the book. I want to give so much. I like to share. So every book has at least one link to resources like playlists, a lot of things. So my readers, they can find mini courses, totally free, things to download, and they can already experience some embodiment of what I'm speaking of in the book. Then, of course, I have also online course on demand.
I love that. I love that. That's our way. We need to make things work for us, right? We need to figure out the way how we can adapt and what we can do. And that's why I think it's so precious to get to know yourself and listen to those symptoms and listen to the unease in your body or in your life, right? Where you can get into the, okay, we need to figure this out. I feel like what you mentioned, and also with everything what we just talked about, but especially with the menopause idea, I think, first of all, we expect it to be bad and we are okay with it because that's what we heard from our parents. That's what we've seen in the outside world, that people need to live with hot flashes and it needs to be a roller coaster, and that's totally normal. Is it?
It can. I discover that very few women know that actually the hot flashes are our protection.
Okay.
Because with this rise of temperature, our body kills the cells that could carry some disease. So actually, I understand. I remember. So in my case, the symptoms of menopause overlapped another health issue due to a virus. I didn't know I had the Epstein-Barr virus in my system, the mononucleosis virus. It woke up together with the herpes zoster virus. And it happened because I moved too many times I was like, okay, this is a big reset. So somehow I went through menopause with a lot of challenges, of other kind of challenges, and it was an empowerment for me. I realized that I needed to take a break for other reasons, but at least I could enjoy the moment. And that was so important because I felt like an initiation. And it's true what I met a medicine woman and I worked with another medicine woman here in Canada. And actually I learned that at 52 is 13 4 times. It's a symbolic number. For some Native American people, this is the age in which a woman becomes a medicine woman because it coincides usually with menopause. Then it can vary, of course. But for me, actually, it's a gift. And since then, I could help many women to go through menopause and feel the empowerment. Because it's true, our body stops to produce some hormones, but actually, this means that we become free from this duty. And this energy can be used for something else. It's really like a rebirth. It's to feel this power. It's not just earth, because earth, like the winter, you go into a hibernation. But this is not the end, because every winter goes into a spring. So actually, menopause can be that moment in which a woman is free to embody every season, any moment, every moon phase, any moment. That's amazing.
It is.
Yes. So much energy, so much power. And of course, some symptoms, if they bother us, it's only because our body is making a clear statement or a request. But if we don't understand what is asking us, and then we leave it like, oh, it's so bothering, it's so annoying, it's a limitation, it's a message, and it means that you are asked to take some steps to empower yourself, to be more in touch with your wholeness. And this is healing, because healing, the root of the word itself, comes from holy, sacred, and whole, complete. So this is really a way to heal ourselves by acknowledging ourselves.
Yeah, and it feels like I did really hope that there will be a time when we don't need to quote unquote heal anymore because we've been raised in a way, or we are raising our children or grandchildren or whatever in a way that they don't need this detachment from whatever unlearning, right? But really knowing what's going on. But it feels like in every aspect, the journey is we are kind of okay with certain things, right? Because that's how it's supposed to be, or it's okay, we're still alive, it's not hurting that much, and so on and so forth, until a point where okay, I need to heal this, right? I need to do something because it's not normal and not bearable anymore. And after that, we start to try to understand ourselves, our body, our energetics, our phases, our hormones, our nervous system, to make it sustainable, to be able to even thrive. And that's why I love your work so much, because you, in all aspects, right? Not just the body, not just the soul, not just the hormones and was astrology, but
Yes.
even on spiritual level and on medium level, and your guides are helping and so on. It's such a holistic approach to understanding and deciphering, because I feel like that's what I'm doing on my journey, right? I try to decipher what the heck is going on and optimize it to as much as I can.
Yeah. The point is that it's like the 4 elements of nature corresponding to the season, corresponding to the moon phases. Every element represents a part, an aspect of ourselves. So the fire, in some tradition, the fire is the spirit. And in other tradition, it's more, is the water. But let's say the fire is the spirit. Our spiritual sparkle is perfect. The problem is that our consciousness is not conscious, is not aware of our spiritual perfection. So we need this life journey, maybe just one, maybe many. Who knows? I believe in parallel lives. I had a near-death experience and clearly felt that time and space are just an illusion. So let's say one life parallel, that doesn't matter, because the present is the only thing that matters. So we need to get in touch with our nature and express it, because this is also part of our healing journey. But it's true that there is the spiritual aspect, there is the water, is the emotional aspect. The air is the mental aspect, because element air is the mind helping us to connect, to put everything in connection and communicate, because through air we communicate. And earth is our physical body, is the physical, the material aspect. So every spiritual path needs to be lived through the body. This is what makes our body sacred. It's the only instrument we have to go through this spiritual journey. And we need to be well grounded to embody our spiritual essence, to live it, to let it express freely through this instrument. So I feel it. We have so much potential. As women, we are really the mirror of nature. And so we don't need to live in the middle of nature. We need sometimes, if we can enjoy nature, that's something that you can find me running barefoot in the parks. In Italy, it was always on the mountain or in a waterfall. It doesn't matter. I love it so much. But you can live also in a city and work to be in touch with the element through your body. This is the most important thing, because then the hormones are happy.
Love it, love it. So there is the body aspect to heal the body. There is the feminine aspect, because I feel like there is a point in every woman's life where you are like, there is so much potential what I feel like I'm not tapping into. So that's definitely there when we realize that this world isn't built for us, or we need to do something. It doesn't necessarily need to be the health aspect that we are not healthy anymore. It's just the next step, or when the children leaving the home, or when
any transition. Yes.
Yes, exactly. Divorce and so on and so forth. Those are those steps where you are like, okay, you need to figure out a new way, not just how it worked. It doesn't work anymore. But then there is also when your soul has this calling, right? When you need to connect to your spiritual part. And behind you, there is a painting. And I want to talk about that, because I feel like that when you mention creativity will spark later on in our lives, right? Even more than before. I feel like connecting, for me, I started with tarot cards as well. And I know you have your own tarot deck, what you painted.
Yes, I was in my 20s, or maybe even a little bit, like maybe 19.
Okay.
And I channeled those paintings, and I paint directly with my fingers and hands. I don't use brushes, only for the very final retouches. So it's like the energy, it's like the image I channel and the energy I channel directly from the other dimension. And so I realized that they were the archetypes of the tarot, the 22 major arcana. So I wrote a book. I channeled the book, I should say, because I have to be honest. My book, one day I wake up and I said, okay, now it's the time. I have to write a book. And okay, I can't stop. I have to. So it was my first book. And with the book, then a publisher sold the paintings and fell in love and wanted to publish the book. So I was very lucky. And so, yes, those are my arcana. And then I paint the portraits for the soul. So some women, if they want to work with me personally, what I do, I offer also consultations for those who, following the book or the online course, want also to go deeper. And sometimes I channel those portraits for the soul. So, of course, I don't have to show any portrait of any soul here because they are gone. But this is the portrait of a spirit of a lake. I lived for a couple of years on a lake in Ontario. And sorry that the light is not the best, but she was so beautiful. I could connect with her every time I was walking near the lake. And she's like a fairy coming from the waters. This one, it's something connected to the 4, but we don't see 4. We see only 3.
I still get goosebumps by that.
Yeah, this is powerful. This is in my bedroom because I feel connected to me. At least there is a part that generates and another part that takes care of transformation. So somehow we could say it's like the waning moon, the new moon, the crescent moon, and the full moon. So there is a part that we don't see. It's on the other side. But I also perceive this very connected to Hecate, that is a trine goddess. It's a goddess that has three aspects. This is so big. This is, and it's not the maiden, the mother, and the crone. No, this is a patriarchal definition that's very recent. At the very beginning, Hecate, as other goddesses from other traditions, she was a titan before Olympic gods, and she was the only one to have permission to access the three realms: the underworld, the human world, and the heavens. So it's something deeply connected to healing also, and to connect with our deepest inner resource and manifesting them to the light. And then I have a moon goddess here. So she can be for the new moon here or the full moon. And I'm sorry that the colors.
It is beautiful. We don't know how it looks in real life, but
It's never.
it's
And this,
lovely.
and this is connected to healing. And this is also included. A print of this for free is included in the resources of another book, The Healing Attitude, because as I told you, I love to give a complete set of tools when I write a book. So
I love that. I love that. So in each aspect of our lives,
yeah,
we need to unlearn what we knew and find our own way.
yes. The point is that we can't unlearn if we don't learn something new first. It's the same principle. Because our nervous system perceives like a threat. Every time we try to undo something, then our nervous system says, "Oh, and then what I can grasp." So, okay, let's learn something new, and then we can let go what we want to unlearn.
And it doesn't matter what is the scale, right? This is the core principle. And these are the things what we can go through in the different areas in your work and in your books and in your courses. I love that. So basically, you have the blueprint making the world a better place and better suitable for everyone and for the more.
I don't know. I'm honestly, what I always do, I never look at what I miss or what is the limitation. Of course, I look at what I miss if I have to learn something more, because I'm always learning, always. But what I'm also going through some new health challenges, and I learned the lesson. And the lesson now is really, it's not a limitation. I could perceive those challenges like a limitation. And then I understood I'm very well supported, because my invisible helpers, they are always happy to release the messages. And so I'm very well taken care of. So I understood that it's just a way for me to focus more on my work. So to share more. I feel this call, because when we should create a better world. But now, because now is the moment, it's almost late. So I'm more than happy to share these tools, because I believe especially women, because we are more oriented to those shades. And this is why I love to work with women, because I'm physically a woman. I can understand very well all the challenges, because I went through almost everything, not everything, but
A lot.
a lot. Yeah. And so I'm more than happy to share.
I love that. I love that. Can I say if someone has some kind of health difficulties, then they should start with, and I have it here, with the healing attitude to get to know you better. If they are on a journey to explore their femininity and everything connected to their femininity, then it's the sacred body.
Yes, I think both. It was the year. It was connected also to the pandemic. I was working a lot, helping women in that moment online, and I downloaded the 2 books. I just updated both of them, so it's the second edition of both of them now. The healing attitude is really about the attitude helping us to deal with any kind of symptoms. I'm playing with the word, so there is a point for each letter of the healing and also a point for every letter of attitude. And this is about what I found really helpful for not only for me, but also for my students and clients in my life. Because I worked as, I'm also a certified Rolfer. Rolfing is a method of body work directly on the body. So I worked a lot with my hands on the people's body and understand, for example, something that we don't take in account, but it's very important, is our relationship with gravity, with the gravitational field. This is so much interconnected to healing. It's so fascinating. So I'm speaking of everything from self-regulation, how much is important to reassure ourselves, how much it's important to have fun, laugh. Actually, they each is for humor. This is really important. So what I noticed that was common to every person who had extraordinary healings in their life amongst my clients and students. And then I don't know if it's also, maybe it's also because I received the spiritual transmission from a healer, 2 actually, but one especially, she was from Uzbekistan. She was considered a saint in Tashkent, in her place. And maybe there is some magic at work, I don't know. But I believe that there are very specific attitudes that we can implement. And this is so helpful. Doesn't matter what kind of healing journey we have. And it's also important to detach ourselves from the goal. Being oriented to reach a goal is very masculine, and it's okay if it's helpful. But when it comes to healing, it can be perceived as a threat by our nervous system because when we want to achieve something, this is already a way to distract ourselves from staying in touch with the healing resources. So it's a lot about clarifying those points. And there are a lot of tools like meditation playlists, free courses, included video courses, free. I even take off from my website the option to get your course, you have to subscribe to my mailing list. No, everybody must be free to subscribe if they want to follow me. Otherwise, they can download the tools for free and I can never hear from them. But of course, I'm here to help. So if they want a session, if they just have questions, they can jump on my YouTube channel. I do a lot of things. I'm a crazy fairy.
I love that. I love that. And yes, also the movement part is on YouTube, right? To move your body and to move
there are some playlists are hidden because I create them only for the readers of the books. But the other playlists are on my website as free resources, at least 2. And also on my blog, they can find videos that are not listed on YouTube because they are more for my readers, but they can find it.
Love it. Love it. My last question before we go, the medium part.
So
is that something that normal people can learn? Is this something that it's a gift for certain people and then that's it? Or how does that work?
So there are different channels, like imagine the radio or a TV. So everybody has access to intuition and inspiration. And I believe it's possible for everybody to listen to ourselves so much that we can also get messages from the other dimension. And usually the more we work on ourselves, because the biggest problem for mediums and channels is that our ego is like a filter.
Okay.
Our ego is always in the middle. It's normal because my spiritual master used to say the ego is like a horse. You don't want to kill the horse, but you need to ride the horse. The horse can be crazy and just bringing you wherever it wants. You need to be the rider, your consciousness. So I believe that, well, our ego, all the parts we don't, we are not that are not completely integrated can interfere. And so we can receive messages from the other dimension, but they can come somehow colored as our ego. So it's not easy. It requires a lot of work on ourselves. I have a course that is about the major arcana of the tarot. This is also about open ourselves to a deepest understanding of those messages. Otherwise, for everything related to spirits and their messages, I would stay cautious and say to everybody, if it happens to you spontaneously, like it happened to me and to other people I know, then go for it. Find guides, find teachers, find guidance. Because otherwise, if you want it, it's another very masculine thing. I want to get this. That can be, you can open yourself to other energies. There are a lot of invisible beings. They are so happy to support you. If they see that you want to get in touch with that spirit, they can pretend to be someone just to make you happy. But then they make a mess. So it's a bit tricky, but I believe I don't force anybody to believe in the other dimension. I'm respectful. If someone doesn't, if someone never had experience of that, they can live happy as atheists, and there is no judgment from the spiritual dimension. It's strictly fine. So this is what makes me work with believers in the spirit and atheists. I can work with everybody. I don't mind their beliefs. But if you believe in the other dimension, be cautious, because usually we attract what we are. And the more we have parts not clearly resolved, and then the more we expose ourselves when we want to achieve something, we expose ourselves to other kind of, I'm speaking only when we want to force things. Because of course, if something happens to you, if it's spontaneous, we can receive messages through dreams. I wrote another book about that, but we can speak about this. I wrote at least other 3 books about that. We speak it another time.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. It's fascinating how you have for each step, for the body, for the soul, for the other realms, something, and I really love that, because in some way, shape, or form, I don't believe that we need to be healed 100,000% to go
No,
to level and so on and so forth.
Sure. Healing is a journey for our lifetime, and it doesn't. I work a lot with Karen, the wounded healer, and I work a lot on this theme because everybody has wounds, and those wounds can become our most precious jewel. So the most important thing is, for me, I was forced to go the physical body from the spiritual dimension. The more I felt this connection, and the more I felt pushed to understand more of rational things, medicine, psychology, everything, because I felt, okay, I need to be grounded. Otherwise, I fly away. So it's true. An approach can be specific or holistic. We have to find our own path. I like to have tools for every aspect, because with every person, I can use what is specific for them. But also in our healing journey, life is our healing journey because it's meant to help us know ourselves and express our wholeness. This is our healing path through life.
Love it. And you have every month at least 2 live webinars regarding synced to the moon, and the upcoming ones at the time of the recording. Today is the new moon in Virgo, I think, and it's all about grounding and astrology wise. I think everything is in retrograde, and so it's an interesting
Very interesting time, yes.
time
And
now. But
yeah.
in September, you have the full moon and the new moon.
Yeah, in September it will be between Virgo and Pisces. This is the healing axis.
Okay.
It's really dedicated to healing, and I think I will go with healing the healer. Probably, I will see. I'm putting on my website some things, and the most important thing is that at the end of Virgo, we have a new moon, another new moon Virgo, and the day after we have, or 2 days after, we have the autumnal equinox. So I will celebrate. I usually go live with a Zoom link for free to explain and to do some active meditation to integrate the moment. And I do this a few days before to give the time to rewatch the video and integrate the energy the day, the actual day. And also because who can't attend live can watch the recording. So
Right.
I think it will be on Thursdays right before. Thursday 4th, September 4th, and Thursday, September 18th.
Something along those lines. But we have all the links in the description wherever you are watching. And just check it out. And even if you are watching after that, there will be upcoming events. So don't stress. We have all the updated things whenever you are watching. We are huge believers in you are receiving the messages whenever you are ready for that. So yeah, it comes when it needs to come. Monica, thank you very much. If someone just takes away one thing from this conversation, what do you want that to be? The most important message that everyone needs to know?
I think the most important message is about honoring our wholeness. And of course, every one of us has a special way, a unique way to feel whole with a specific aspect. So there is always not just a message, but something new to express of ourselves. Whatever is bothering you can become your best resources or resource, or you can find through that challenge something precious.
So don't sweat.
No, or sweat. That is, want to sweat. It can be healthy. But remember, nature is wise. There is always a good reason. And sometimes we have just to listen to ourselves to understand the reason, and just listen to ourselves in this word it's already so much.
I know, right? Just put aside the ego and find the magic, the essence. I love that. I love that. Thank you very much for being here. It was amazing. And I'm 100% sure we will continue this conversation because it's just, there are so many interesting things. Thank you very much for being here. Have an amazing day and hope to speak to you soon.
Bye.